Hi everybody, welcome to this video. It's a short how to install Plex Media Server on an ASUS Tinkerboard. Over here we have a brand new ASUS Tinkerboard, same footprint as a Raspberry Pi. We've got 2 gig of RAM underneath, SD slot, USB, 1 gig Ethernet port, 4K HDMI, nice brand new rock chip processor, and nice colored GPIOs. Alright, so let's get started. You head on over to iot.co.za and you look under the products for ASUS Tinkerboard images. Once you arrive there, you'll be able to see the ASUS Tinkerboard Plex Media Server. Now on this Plex Media Server, we've installed additional transcoding tools. We've installed Plexpy, which is a statistical monitoring system written in Python, pronounced Plexpy, and designed specifically for Plex, which displays nice graphs and statistics on basically monitoring and tracking. We have web tools also pre-installed, the collection utility to help the management of your Plex server. You can install unsupported app store from GitHub like Couch Potato, etc. We've also installed an advanced configuration menu which will allow you to do the network configuration of your Tinkerboard, the media or storage of your Tinkerboard, and upgrade your Plex Media Server version without destroying your libraries. So let's take a closer look at that. We can set up a Tinkerboard onboard Wi-Fi access point. We can connect the Tinkerboard to an existing Wi-Fi network. We can set up a static LAN IP address, and we can commission a domain name server and a DHCP server on the LAN port. Alright, IPv forwarding masquerading. Currently it is not compiled into the kernel correctly. There are issues with NAT, but in future releases we'll correct this on the menu. We've also installed Htop, which is a system monitor process viewer. You can observe the CPU and memory utilization, top 10 talkers, and you can configure this interface as you desire. We've also installed a Debian pretty message of the day for you. So when you log in via a Shellinabox session, which is essentially a web-based terminal, which is a lot easier than using PuTTY or Xterm or one of those products. We've also written up the specifications of the product. Once you've added the product to your cart and you've checked out and you've purchased it, you can head on down to your account, your download section. We don't support download over HTTP purely because we feel it's unreliable. So what we do is we make use of FileZilla. So download your site manager file. Let's just save that, and it's completed. Once you've downloaded your site manager file, you can install FileZilla. FileZilla is a free tool available on SourceForge. You can download it. Now what we do is we import the file that we've just downloaded, the site manager file. So you say OK to import that, OK again, OK, and now you'll have a drop down showing you your site manager link. Click on the link and it will connect you to IoT's backend. Once there, you can double click to download, and the download progress indicator will show. Alright, so this is going to take some time, so I'm going to fast forward the video to when the file has successfully downloaded. Okay, welcome back everybody. The file is now successfully downloaded and we can see it's available. At this point you open the zip file by double clicking on it, copy it, and you paste it back. This extracts the image file from the zip file. Okay. Once the file is extracted, we then install a program called Win32 Disk Imager. So over here I have a micro SD card reader. We're going to insert a micro SD card into our card reader writer. The micro SD must be a minimum of 8 GB of RAM, preferably a class 10 which supports a high speed. And we insert that into our computer. As you can see, I had some old files on here. You must be very careful to choose the correct drive, otherwise you'll end up formatting the incorrect drive. So here we can see that that specific drive is drive G. At this point we head on over to our folder, we select our image, and at this point we click write and we confirm. The write process begins, and once it's successfully completed, you'll receive a write successful. You will notice in the root of the drive there are now a couple of files. One of them is the WPA supplicant file. This file you can use to do a headless connection of your ASUS Tinkerboard to your Wi-Fi network. Simply copy the file, paste the same file back, delete everything after conf, say yes to change it, edit the file, enter the SSID of your network, enter the password of your network, save your changes, close the file, and at this point you can eject the card. Remove the card reader from your machine, insert the micro SD into the ASUS Tinkerboard. At this stage we've configured a headless connection to our Wi-Fi network, so we do have a Ethernet cable here, but for purposes of demonstration we're going to do a completely headless connection. As you can see, we have power. Now I've done a DHCP MAC reservation for the address of the ASUS Tinkerboard, so I know exactly what IP address it would be, but you would be able to see this on the GUI desktop connected to an HDMI cable. At this point we open a connection, Alright, let's plug in the Ethernet connection. Let's connect. The Pi has been loaded with user root or Linaro. It's also Linaro Nalaro. In Raspberry Pi it was Pi and password Raspberry. Sometimes on initial startup your Plex Media Server will just run away, try and get up, block your network with a lot of traffic. So for purposes of ease of demonstration, I've just turned the media service off, and let's quickly look at what addresses we have. So on the headless connection, the initial connection didn't work. So what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to unplug the ASUS Tinkerboard and plug it in again. This is just testing the complete headless setup. To close that off. And there we go. So just a simple restart of the device. Lenaro. Service Plex Media Server stop. So as you can see, just a simple reboot of the device got it to connect without us doing any configuration changes. Alright, now that that demonstration is done, let's start Plex Media Service again. And at this point, you can revert to your browser. I'm going to connect to this completely wirelessly for each of these services. web, and here we have our Plex Media Server. So at this point, one merely backspaces. Please ensure that you go first to settings, to your server, to your advanced settings, and in the network field be sure to enter IP address ranges and IPs that are allowed. Once you've done that, click Save Your Changes and head on back to the home page. So here we have preloaded a video to demonstrate Plex Media Server. So while that's playing, let's head on over to the Plexpy interface. And Plexpy, or Plexpy, sorry, runs on port 8181. As you can see, that's currently a direct play to my browser. While that is running, let's open up an additional session. Let's just pause that so everybody can hear me. Now WebUtil sits on port 33400. When you log in for the first time, you're going to set a password. Once done, you'll have access to connect to unsupported app stores. While that's loading, I'm going to access Htop via a web browser. We've published it securely. On port 88848 Htop_app. And here you have the Htop interface. You can change this configuration to suit your needs. We've also published Shellinabox. That's running on port 4200. Secure. Click continue. If you don't get access to this, merely set compatibility settings for the specific address or use Firefox to access it. Here you cannot log in as root, you must initially log in as Linaro, password Linaro. And what's nice is you can change the background to black on white so that it looks a lot better. The URLs available on your ASUS Tinkerboard is available by calling the script which updates the issue file, and then simply displaying the issue file. As you can see, all the information is also here indicating the URL for each of what I've just displayed. Alright, I'm going to open up an additional session. Let's change it to secure. Here I'm going to log in as Linaro. And at this point we are wanting to demonstrate the advanced configuration menu that you can find in the home directory for Linaro, and there's a symbolic link to it called main menu. If you push enter, it will display the menu. Network configuration. If we want to turn our ASUS Tinkerboard into a wireless access point, we can use that option. If we want to connect it to a wireless client, we can use this option. If we want to issue a static IP address to the local area network connection interface, we use that option. And if we want to enable it as a DNS DHCP server, we can then use that option. As I mentioned earlier, masquerading and forwarding, the NAT has not been compiled correctly into the kernel at this point, so in the future when that is corrected we will then do so. Just a note that the standard image that one installs for the Debian stretch, the host APD does not natively support the driver, so we have recompiled the host APD on this particular platform. At any point that you wish to remove any network configurations, you simply restore your network configuration and it gives you a message to reboot. At this point you can continue to go and do other network configurations. Let's go back into network configurations, and we are now going to turn this into a wireless access point. First thing you do is enter your password. Please make sure that you read the messages, because if you make this less than 8 characters or more than 63, the service will simply not start. So I'm going to use a password of 12345678990. My SSID, I'm going to call it Tinkerboard. This is the static IP address now of the ASUS Tinkerboard. So here I'm just going to use the address in the example 10.0.0.1. Your DHCP range must at least start one IP address off of your static address. Here I'm going to use the examples given, and let's let it run up to 100. Done. So we've now configured our ASUS Tinkerboard to be a wireless access point. At this point you simply exit and reboot. place the ASUS Tinkerboard here. Let's place the phone here. Let's head on over to settings, look for the Wi-Fi, and as you can see, we've connected to the Tinkerboard. At this point you head on over to your Plex application, and Lenara ALIP appears. Select the server. You'll be presented with the home screen. Let's go have a look at the movies we set up. Let's select Independence Day. Let's reset that completely. Once you've reset it completely, we could then proceed to play the content. And that is currently connected to Tinkerboard. Okay. Alright everybody, this concludes the short video. Thank you for watching.